Hi again, Liam. So this is your rock portion of your lesson today. Let's see here. There's four things I want to talk about. One is a review of power chords. And then number two is a different technique on playing A minor pentatonic, or just any scale for that matter, but we'll be using it in the context of A minor pentatonic. And then note reading, we can get John on to you about that, about starting that process, like we talked about last week. And then number four is your mom sent over a song request that I think either you or she had, but I'll do it anyway. Is "The Bones" by Maureen Morris. Cool guitar riff right there. Awesome, let's get to it. So, first thing is Root 5 and Root 6. I want you to review your Root 5, Root 6 notes this week. As I remember last time, your power chords are looking pretty good. We need to take the next step, but before I do that with you, I want to make sure that you know very clearly the notes on the 5th and 6th strings. So what I'm going to do for next week is I'm just going to call out a chord. I'm going to say like C. I'm going to say like C5, right? And what I want you to do is I want you to play C5 on the 5th string, and then also on the 6th string, so I want you to be able to find them fairly quickly. And I'm going to call out a bunch of them, so I was going to write down the list. I am going to test you on sharps and flats, so be able to do them, like say D flat and C sharp as well. C sharp 5 and D flat 5 as well. So work on that for me, and then if that looks all good, I'm gonna give you the next step, which is we need to start talking about bar chords and getting your hands set up for that. There have plenty of tips and tricks on how to fix that, or I'm sorry, how to teach that. So I want you to be here next week for us to do that. That would give you some instant feedback. Cool. And then the next thing is A minor pentatonic, right? So we have our box 1. There you go. And what we're going to be working on is sliding, or glissando in the classical world. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your 3rd finger. I know you usually start with your 1st finger right here on the A, but we're going to start with our 3rd finger. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your guitar pick. Uh-oh, that was my home. Oh, no, I have some. Take your guitar pick, hit 5. And then what you're going to do is you're going to slide up to 8. Now, sliding is one of the things we'll talk about first, which is that the thumb, right? The thumb comes along for the ride, right? You don't want to drag the hand this way, right? And pivot off your thumb. What you want to do, if you watch it this way, see how everything came along? It's the same thing we talked about when we were doing our shifts in the Suzuki stuff. When you were doing your D major and your hand came up and your thumb would like this right here for a while, and we got sorted out so that it all moves as one unit. This is why you don't want to drag on the back of the neck because it's going to slow you down. So if you play that 5 there, right? So I'm on 5th fret with my 3rd finger, right? I got my thumb back here. So in that bunny ears position, right? So I'm in that bunny ears position, thumb on the back of the neck. And here's the thing: you're going to slide up to 8. You want to look with your eyes where you're going. So like right now, I'm looking. I played the note. Right now, I'm looking at the 8th fret. This is because this is where I want to go. The thumb came along for the ride, and I was looking where I want to go. Right here, and I slide up to the 8th fret. Now the other thing too is don't push hard because if you do, you drag all the way up the fretboard and kind of like hit every branch coming down. So a light touch, just press a little bit. Remember that thud buzz bell exercise we did? That might be good to kind of review that here. Right? Thumb on the back of the neck. I'm pushing very lightly. And shift up to 8. 5, 8, right? Use thud buzz bell to figure out how hard to push. You don't need to push very hard on the slide. Thumb comes along for the ride. Look where you're going. And then the next one, same thing with 3rd finger. Next one, string 4. Next one, string 3. String 2. Thumb is always in bunny ears position for me in this spot right here. And then number 1. Right? in soloing, you could always use that. If you did a slide plus a sequence. So you say you slide on 4th string, 5 to 7. Right, so if you so I did there at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and a slide at the end. Makes it nice and bluesy, I think. At least how I phrased it there. So work on your slides for your A minor pentatonic scale. And then next thing I want you to do is note reading. I think your mom said she hasn't picked up the book yet, but make sure to pick up that book. If she hasn't, just do a gentle reminder that we should probably start working on that. The idea is that I want you to get reading some like the rock melodies and things like that in open position, and seal that pretty quickly. And it'll also benefit your Suzuki stuff too. I mean, the notes are the notes. So if you learn how to read them in the rock style, it should transfer over to classical fairly easy. Now, remember classical music, you're reading more than one line sometimes at a time. But I think if we start the Hal Leonard book now, we can cover some good ground, and then that way, when we get more towards, usually book 3 is where people are mostly just reading their pieces, even though you're kind of doing it already now. But I'd like to go back and work that on there. So cool. So if you have any questions about how to procure that book, shoot me a message, and I'd be more than happy to send you over a link to like Amazon or something. And then last thing is the Bones. Cool guitar line. It's very kind of reminds me of the voicings that the guitar player is using. Reminds me of kind of like yeah, that's it. Of a Blackbird. If you see right here. Let me pull that music up so I can get more in my ear. I must confess, I hadn't heard the song before. Your mom sent over the request, so let me get it back in my ear again. How the tune goes. Just take me a second. And we'll pull up YouTube. Got it. All right, so we have this. We have. Right, now you notice I'm actually playing a finger style because that's how I'm assuming how the guitar player played it, or we used hybrid picking, but I think this is probably finger picked. All right, cool. So first thing you do, go ahead and fret G on the 5th string. So find G for me there. And then what you'll do is you'll find also B on the 2nd string, so 12th fret on the 2nd string. We haven't talked about that string yet, so I'm not going to call it no names on it. So 12th fret on 2nd string, and then G on the 5th string. And what you'll do, you can either use pinky or 3rd finger. I myself would probably use the 1st finger and pinky. Some people use 3rd finger there, I would think. I find it more comfortable to play with the pinky though. I'll leave it up to you though, which you decide what you want to play. And you hit the G, then the B, ba da da da. So you have, and then you're gonna shift this shape down, down to the note D on the 5th string, and then 7th fret on the 2nd string. In the same pattern, bass, fingers, bass, fingers. Well, yeah, I want you to play this. Actually, this might be good for you to maybe kind of brush up on some of the rest stroke. Or fingers separate. So you can use that from, like say, long ago. Use that fingers separate, and then also with steady hands. All the end of book 1, in the beginning of book 2, the offset thumb and fingers. So you can do. It's a good Suzuki exercise. How about that? All right. So if you do the right hand by itself, so thumb, index, thumb. 5, index on second, middle on second. That's literally the right hand. So you've already kind of worked it out with Suzuki stuff. Remember I said before, if you do Suzuki and you go far enough with it and then you want to do rock, ain't that bad. This is why, because you've already learned the technique to do it. And then you just need me to show you where to put your fingers. Rock can get a little harder than that, but it's good. It gives you a good solid fundamentals. Down to 5 onto the D. Here the shape changes a little bit. What you're gonna do is you're gonna grab B on the 6th string with your middle finger, and then 7th fret on the 3rd string with your ring finger. Same idea with the right hand. Thumb, index, thumb, middle, the same way it was offset, the same as long ago, or with steady hands, that sort of thing. And then you're gonna keep 3rd finger. You're gonna shift 3rd finger down to 6th fret, and place your index finger on the A on the 6th string. So far we have this. And that's how you play the riff. All right, cool, man. So there's a neat kind of chord in here. So maybe we might use this next week to illustrate if everything looks good with your power chords. And we're ready for the next step. We can actually even use this one as training ground for the next style of chord or kind of chord. All right, cool, man. There it is. That's everything I wanted to talk about today. Feel free to shoot me back a reaction video, or have your mom text me over any questions you might have. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. Cool, man. I will see you same time next week. Take care now.